Hello everyone, welcome to the City Fans No Delay. Pep Guardiola said to Nico Gonzalez after he scored second goal, it was another electric afternoon at the Etihad Stadium. A day filled with passion, precision, and Pep Guardiola's relentless pursuit of perfection. Manchester City faced off against a resilient opponent, and though the scoreboard favoured the Blues, the story behind their victory carried a deeper meaning, especially for one young player, Nico Gonzalez. The Spanish midfielder, just 21 years old, had been making waves in training. His control, passing, and courage to take risks had impressed Guardiola for weeks. But on this particular day, Nico transformed those quiet training ground moments into something unforgettable on the pitch. His second goal, a stunning strike that curled past the goalkeeper, wasn't just another goal for the statistics. It was a statement of arrival, a declaration that he belonged among City's elite. As the crowd roared and the Etihad vibrated with excitement, Pep Guardiola stood motionless for a few seconds on the touchline. He wasn't just watching a goal. He was watching a story unfold, a young man realizing his potential. When the final whistle blew and the players began walking toward the tunnel, Guardiola's first move wasn't toward the media or the officials. He went straight to Nico. The cameras caught the moment. Pep pulling the young midfielder close, his hand on the back of Nico's neck, speaking intensely but affectionately. Later, reports would reveal some of Guardiola's words. "Now you understand what I mean, Nico. Don't wait for the game to come to you. Take it." That's the City way. For Nico, those words meant everything. He had arrived from Spain with dreams of playing under Pep Guardiola, the manager known for sculpting midfielders into maestros. But the transition hadn't been easy. He struggled at first. The speed, the physicality, the tactical demands. There were games where he barely touched the ball, matches where frustration took over. Yet Pep never gave up on him. He saw something special, the same calmness on the ball that once defined players like Xavi and Iniesta. In training sessions, Guardiola would often stop the drills just to demonstrate positioning, how to scan before receiving the pass, or how to move between lines. The ball, Pep would say, must always have a purpose. You don't play football with your feet, you play it with your brain. Nico listened, learned, and waited. Then came this match, the breakthrough. His first goal was clever positioning and composure, but the second goal, that was pure confidence. Taking a pass from Julian Alvarez at the edge of the box, Nico didn't hesitate. One touch to control, another to unleash a curling effort that left the goalkeeper rooted. The stadium exploded, and Pep's grin said it all. After the match, Guardiola praised him publicly. Nico has something that you cannot teach: courage. When you see a young player take responsibility like that, you know he is ready for more. The goal is beautiful, yes, but what I like more is his attitude. He listens, he works, he fights. Inside the dressing room, the atmosphere was euphoric. Teammates like Rodri and Foden congratulated Nico with playful shouts and hugs. Erling Haaland, who had scored countless goals himself, handed the match ball to him as a gesture of respect. "2 goals, Hermano," Haaland said with a smile. "You're coming for my job." Everyone laughed, even Pep, whose stern expression softened as he watched the young Spaniard blush. But Pep wasn't done. He walked up to Nico once more, looked him straight in the eyes and said quietly, "You've made me proud today, but remember, this is just the beginning. Don't ever think you've done enough. Every game is a new challenge. You must keep growing." Those words stayed with Nico long after the celebrations faded. The next day in training, he arrived early, before sunrise, eager to continue improving. Guardiola noticed, and though he said nothing, the smile on his face as he watched Nico train told its own story. In the following weeks, Nico's confidence soared. He began dictating play from midfield, linking up beautifully with Kevin De Bruyne and Rodri. Fans started chanting his name. Pundits began comparing him to City legends. But for Guardiola, success was never about hype. It was about consistency. He told the press, "Nico is learning fast, But the key is humility. The moment he thinks he knows enough, he will stop growing. I will not let that happen. Pep Guardiola's relationship with his players has always been one of mentorship and meticulous guidance. He sees himself not just as a coach, but as a craftsman, moulding talent into artistry. And in Nico Gonzalez, he saw the next chapter of that tradition, a young man ready to carry forward City's legacy of intelligent, beautiful football. Another news? Pep and his boys are back in training ahead of Liverpool clash. It was a bright, crisp morning at the City Football Academy in Manchester. The sun peeked through the clouds as Pep Guardiola and his Manchester City squad returned to training, preparing for one of the biggest fixtures of the season, a showdown with Liverpool. After a brief international break, the atmosphere around the training ground was electric. Every player knew what was at stake. This was not just another Premier League match. It was a statement of intent, a battle for supremacy between two of England's modern-day giants. Pep Guardiola, ever the perfectionist, arrived early as usual. He greeted his coaching staff with a nod and a focused smile. The Catalan manager had spent the last few days studying every detail about Liverpool's form, tactics, and weaknesses. For him, preparation was everything. No mistakes, he whispered as he walked toward the pitch, clipboard in hand. We play with courage, with rhythm, and with heart. The players soon followed. Erling Haaland, Coutinho, Phil Foden, Bernardo Silva, and the young rising stars Divine Mubama and Divine Mukasa, all ready to impress their boss. Calvin Phillips, who had been working hard to regain form and fitness, looked sharper and more determined than ever. The sound of laughter mixed with the thud of boots meeting the ball filled the air. But beneath the smiles, there was a sense of focus and determination. The session began with light, stretching and passing drills. Pep watched closely, occasionally shouting instructions in his distinct Catalan accent. Move! Faster, faster. Always think before you receive, he demanded. The players responded immediately. Crisp one-touch passes, clever movements, and sharp pressing patterns filled the training pitch. This was Guardiola's Manchester City at its best, technical, disciplined, and fearless. After the warm-up, the tactical session began. Guardiola gathered the players in a circle, using cones and markers to demonstrate how he wanted them to press Liverpool's backline. They build with confidence, but they leave space behind, Pep explained passionately. We punish mistakes. We don't wait. We attack the moment Divine Mubama, one of the academy graduates promoted to the first team, listened attentively.